Hello everyone and welcome back to another tutorial at Gold Style Grooming, and today I want to show you how I do a lamb cut. And I'm doing this cut on a adorable little cockapoo named Roxy. And we're going to start the video here after I already gave her a bath using conditioner, shampoo, conditioner, really get them all nice and clean. You want to use conditioner on, especially on cuts like this, because there's going to be a lot of brushing and combing because you leave the legs longer than the body. So here I am blowing out the coat using a high-powered blow dryer to get it extremely dry. You want the coat completely dry before you start grooming. After the blow drying, then you want to use a slicker brush and thoroughly go over all the dog with a brush. And then I use a metal fine-tooth comb and I go over and completely comb out every inch of the dog from head to toe to make sure there are no tangles or knots or mats anywhere. Then I usually trim the tail first. It's kind of usually the hardest part on the dog because no dogs like their tails touched. So I usually just comb the tail out and fan it out and trim the end quickly like this. And then for the nails and ear cleaning, I always do all the nails and ears and teeth and all the accessories, I call it, before I start the actual haircut. It's usually another one of the hardest parts on a dog, so I get this over with. And I'm using ear powder here to pluck out all the ear hair. And then I use a cotton swab with some ear cleaner and clean them all out. And so on the body, I'm going to be using a 3F blade. It's similar to a number 2 comb blade, but where you're stopping at the legs, you want to make sure it's completely even on both legs, like I'm showing here. And then you continue to go over the rest of the body and make sure that's all even and get that all neatened up before we move on to the legs. And you want to leave the head. I like to do a round face and head, so I just stop at the neck. Then I use a E-comb or a 1-inch comb blade with a 30 blade attachment, and I'm just going to go over the legs. And this is going to just shorten them up a little bit. It's not going to take too much off, but it's going to be shorter than just leaving them completely full. So snowballs and stuff like that don't get stuck in it in the winter. She just likes them a little shorter this time of year. Now we're going to use a 10 blade, and this is where I'm going to scoop out the eyes, get all of the eye gunk out of the eyes. And I'm also going to trim up around the mouth. I like to get, there's a lot of staining around the eyes and around the mouth. I like to get that out right with the 10 blade. And then I'm going to use the 10 blade on the rest of the underneath, the armpits, the sanitary area, get that all clean. And then a little shortcut I like to use is skimming. I use the 10 blade and I lightly go over the legs with the 10. This saves a lot of time. Instead of hand scissoring, you can just easily use the blade to skim over. Only experienced groomer should really do this, because if the dog moves, you could easily take out a big chunk of hair. You're very lightly going over the top of the coat with a very short blade, so you have to have a very steady hand and experience in doing this. Then I'm going to use a 40 blade. This is a very short blade, and this is what I use to shave the pads. Get all the hair out from the paw pads, and I do it all over on all 4 of them before I start trimming them. Then I start to round out the feet. I just comb the feet down, and I very lightly just scissor around the feet to make them look nice and round. I do it on all 4 feet so they look nice and uniform. And I also take this time to go over and hand scissor any of the legs, like parts of the legs that I missed with the skimming. Now we're getting into the head and the face. So I first comb out the ears and trim the ends off the ears. Take about a ½ inch to 1 inch off the ears and make sure they're nice and even. Then on the head, I like to comb forward the bangs or the visor and just scissor trim that out of the way. I really like to make sure I get all of the hair out of the eyes very well. That's the first part on a dog. They start the hair starts growing back right over the eyes. So you want to make sure you get all around the eyes really well. You want to make sure you lift the ears and trim underneath the ears. That's such a pet peeve of mine. A lot of groomers don't do this, and they leave a lot of hair under the ears, and it just doesn't look uniform. Then I want to go to the face. So I'm going to comb down each side of the face, and I'm just going to do one quick swipe across underneath the beard to make it look completely even, and do that on both sides. This is when I want to make the face nice and round, and how you do this is you use a comb and you back brush around the muzzle and the beard. Then you start to scissor around, nice round muzzle, and it looks nice and cute. And after you make sure that's nice and round with your regular scissors, then you want to switch over to thinning shears, and this is where you're going to thin out any of those sharp edges, any unevenness. You want to make sure it's all nice and very super round and soft. You don't want any hard, blunt edges. And after that, I go back over the body to make sure there's nothing left, no loose hairs, wispies, anything I missed. And I go over with a nice spray to make her smell good going home. And there we have it. That is a lamb cut, well, an altered lamb cut, because it's kind of a shorter version for like a pet version of a lamb cut on a cockapoo. She's so adorable. We took a selfie together, and that's everything. Thanks for watching.